Hey y'all, it's Denise, and I'm in my studio on Friday, the end of the week, just tidying up. But I wanted to share with you the things I worked on this week in my studio, and they are a continuation of my Activating Your Canvas that I did a couple weeks ago in studio session 165. So go back and take a look at that. And you'll see where these pieces ended up. I worked on them this week, and I'm in a really good spot. I wanted them to be nice and simple. I'm doing them for a special project, so I've got a couple weeks before I have to really actually have them finished. I'm going to let them sit and marinate a little bit before I decide if I'm going to do anything extra, anything more with it. Otherwise, I'm done, and they're ready to go. So I want to share it with you, and thanks for being here. Take a look, and I'll see you again next week. Bye. Okay, so this was part of the large canvas I was working on 2 weeks ago. Had it out on my carport and was just throwing paint at it. Yeah, it's got a little bit of everything. I collaged papers, I rolled paint, I splattered paint, I scrubbed paint, and that's where my base coat is. From there, I'm creating 4 pieces. I have 4 pieces that are 3 feet by 2 feet. And this is kind of where I'm going, although I still have final marks to add to these. There's one. Here's another one. And the way that I created these is I just kind of sat for a little time. I loved all of the papers that I used in them. And I just sat and figured out took a closer look to see what it is that I could see in these canvases. And then once I figured that out, I took my trusty Stabilo and I just kind of went around the canvas and picked things out. And this series is going to be part of the series that I'm working on that is on the windowsill is the title, and each of the pieces will be things you find on a windowsill. So let me get this lined up. I'm just using a nice creamy house paint, and I put it in these little condiment containers. And let me pay attention to where I'm going with this first layer. Once I have the first layer on, the other layers are really easy to continue on with. But this first layer is important because it is what is laying out my design. And right here, let me just do this one and kind of show you where I'm going. I'm following along with what I have drawn on here already. And with that, I'm trying not to pay too much attention to all the things that I'm covering up. Now, what I really love when I go to create flowers is I don't like to paint the stem in. I like to create the stem by painting around it. Like I said, I am just looking to find my design, my patterns. And if there's something I see along the way that I want to keep, I can do that, because if I decide it's not working for me, I can paint over it later. And this doesn't have to be a really thick coat. It can actually, just be your defining first coat. I have to say, these little condiment squeezers are so great for this, because you can just apply the paint as needed. And I'm not too worried about my Stabilo pencil running in this because I'm going to add quite a few coats over this. So it's going to be easy to lose that. Let me see, I have this as a round vase, a more oval vase. Let's see if I want to keep that. And these Stabilo streaks that are happening there actually will end up working for me in the long run. This is my tabletop. I'm adding a defining line here where my tabletop is. Next step I did, after I did the cream, finding my design with the cream, I did 2 coats of the cream. And then I came back over it with some gloss medium, dipped in a little bit of raw umber, and just washed that in all over. I've already done it on this canvas. I'm just doing this to show you what I did. Just rubbed that in. Covered everything, went around my flowers. I didn't want to dull those out too much. And then went back with a rag and wiped through it all. Kind of smushed it around. And just because I wanted to add a little bit of a darker background, which I'm going to go back over again with cream. So this may seem a little redundant. It's going back and forth with colors that are very close to each other. But it builds up the layers and it gives the painting a little bit more depth to it. So I've got that done. I let that dry. And then I came back over it again with the cream. I came back over it, that brown wash again with the cream. And then I came back over once again and just hit some really light spots, building up the color one more time. And I'm doing these kind of random, not all over. And I intentionally don't go all the way to the edge because I like to have that little bit of color showing through. I love the way that looks. And I'm kind of bringing this extra layer in closer to the center and next to the flowers. My abstract little flowers here. And then blending it out. And this is where building up the layers comes in play, because you can see that there's layers in right next to this. I don't want that color to be strong, just really subtle. Yeah, I think that's going to do it. Okay, I'm going to go in with a pencil and just kind of scribble around. Matter of fact, I'm going to do it with my left hand. Scribble around a little bit. And then I'm going to go back with my Stabilo and do the same. And I'm going to come back over that with a little bit of water, create some irregularities with the water. Now, I may come back with these because I have a couple weeks before I have to have these pieces ready. And I might come back and add something else, but I wanted these to be really clean and simple. Okay, so I did have a few more things I wanted to add. On the windowsill, on my surface that the pots and the flowers are sitting on, I wanted to add a little bit more detail, so I took my Stabilo and I added some lines, and then I went in with a brush and watered up my Stabilo lines, which I really liked. And each of the different paintings has a different stripe on the ledge. They look a little bit different, but it was just a little detail that I kind of liked. It finished it off, and I think I have more to add, some more little details. Not a lot, but especially on this piece. This one looks a little empty to me. So, like I said, I'm gonna let them simmer a little bit and come back to them right before I have to deliver. And yeah, this was really fun, and negative painting and finding my shapes that way is one of my favorite things to do. I hope you enjoy it, and I hope you try it, and thank you for being here. Give me a thumbs up and subscribe if you're not already, and I will see you back here again next week. Thanks. Bye.